All right, I'm Nick. Today we are going to talk about how to catch finicky sheepshead. Whether you're fishing shallow water or crystal clear water or just super slow, calm water, sometimes sheepshead can be a bit challenging. In my experience, they're much easier to catch when the water is a little dirty or the water is deeper and there's not as much light penetration. But you can still catch them. You just got to work a little bit harder and change your approach. Now, a few videos back, we did a video called the Simple Bridge Fishing Setup. Very, very easy way to catch redfish, black drum, and sheepshead, or whatever else is down there around the pilings. Here's a link to that here. Now, you can see a clip of that trip, me catching a redfish right here. As you saw, super simple setup, nothing to it. Fiddler, weight, drop it down there, hook fish, reel fish in. But when it's calm and finicky, things are different. So the other day, I went sheepshead fishing. I knew it was going to be calm, no wind, no tide, and the water has been crystal clear. I went out with the half-ounce jig, just like I showed you in that video a second ago, but it wasn't working. I knew it wasn't going to work because it never works like that. And I decided to take the weight off of the rig. Taking the weight off of the rig and just using the 15-pound fluorocarbon to the Gorilla Light hook with a loop knot allows the fiddler to fall at a more controlled pace. Now, you can see in this video clip that there are plenty of fish around these pilings, and I took this video of them swimming around those pilings after I had already caught some fish, so there's less there than there was when I started, but I wanted you guys to see how they behave around these pilings. They're up in that structure and you need to present a fiddler to them as natural as possible. So you'll see in this next clip that I get down current. The current is rushing to me through the pilings, and I just pitch the fiddler up next to these pilings and I let it drift naturally. Very, very important here that you pay attention to your fishing line, because your fishing line will kind of take off, and that's one indicator of a fish eating your fiddler. You don't want to use the rod tip to move your line, because then the fish will see the fiddler kind of pull funny and they won't eat it. You got to let that fiddler drift as naturally as possible in the current with no weight. It is challenging, it's hard to get used to, but it is rewarding. You can see as soon as I turn my head, boom, the fish eats it. I set the hook hard. It is important. Well, here, watch the clip and then I'll show you. It's very important that you have your drag set tightly and you set the hook hard. They have teeth like humans. A lot of guys will be like, hey, they were throwing the hook at the kayak, and they're not really throwing the hook. You're just not getting a good enough hook set. And then once they get to the surface and shake their head, there's no pressure on the hook and the hook falls out. It's important that you lay into them pretty good. A stiffer action rod is really good for this. The rod I'm using is a really medium light action rod. It's not the best for the situation, but I know that I need to give them a hook set pretty hard for it to work out. It is fun. It is challenging. I like it. I don't recommend it. I'm not a huge sheepshead fisherman myself. I'm just not a really, really big fan of it. But it is fun to do a few times a year. And I've had a bunch of questions about it recently, so I thought I'd give you guys my input and show you how to catch them in shallow, clear, slow-moving water. And that's about it. Nothing to it. We are going to do a video on our Fiddlerville. We had a bunch of questions about Fiddlerville. I referred to it in one of our videos a while back. Here's a clip of it. I'm going to do a video about that. I'll tell you how you can keep your fiddlers alive pretty much forever. And I think they're actually reproducing out there. Someone said they don't reproduce in captivity, but there's a ton of super small ones running around, so I think they do. If you guys have any questions about sheepshead fishing, just drop a comment below. They're pretty tasty. I let that fish go that I just caught in that video right there too. Here, I let him go between the hole and the kayak because I couldn't get my hands on him. He wouldn't quit moving, so I kicked him out the bottom of the kayak. Check it out. Thanks for watching.